Imagine standing in a dark room, searching for the light switch. The moment your hand finds it and the room floods with brightness, everything becomes clear, illuminated, and full of potential. This is how Kabbalah describes life itself. We're all searching for that switch, the connection to an infinite source of energy, love, and wisdom. But what if I told you that the key to finding it isn't outside of you but within? This key is the understanding of two fundamental forces that shape the universe: the light and the vessel. The light is the infinite energy of creation. It's the essence of the Creator, always giving, always flowing, and always available. It's love in its purest form, wisdom without boundaries, and abundance that knows no limits. It's the energy that breathes life into everything we see, feel, and experience. The light doesn't discriminate. It simply gives endlessly, unconditionally. But here's the catch. While the light is constantly giving, it needs something to receive it. That's where the vessel comes in. The vessel represents creation itself. It represents us. Think of it as a container, a spiritual cup that holds the blessings, love, and wisdom the light offers. However, a vessel isn't just a passive receiver. It's dynamic, alive, and deeply connected to the choices we make every single day. Here's where it gets fascinating. The vessel isn't naturally empty. It's designed with a desire to receive, but not just any desire. It's meant to receive for a purpose. This purpose is what determines whether we feel fulfilled or perpetually empty. You see, receiving without intention is like pouring water into a cracked glass. No matter how much you pour, it will never fill up. True fulfillment comes when the vessel isn't just focused on taking, but on creating a flow, receiving, and then sharing with others. The dynamic between the light and the vessel is like a cosmic dance. The light is always ready to pour itself into the vessel, but the vessel has to be prepared to hold it. It's not just about being open, it's about being aligned, balanced, and purposeful. Without this preparation, the vessel may reject the light or even break under the weight of it. This is where Kabbalah offers profound wisdom. It teaches us that the vessel, in its original state, was whole and perfect. It was fully filled with the light, basking in its brilliance. But something extraordinary happened. The vessel, in its perfection, began to yearn not just to receive but to give, just like the light. This yearning created a tension, a cosmic imbalance, and eventually the vessel shattered. This event, known in Kabbalah as the shattering of the vessel, is the reason we experience imperfection, chaos, and separation in our lives. Each piece of the shattered vessel represents a fragment of the original whole, scattered throughout creation. It's as if the universe itself carries the memory of this event, a longing to be whole again. And that longing, it's within us, too. That emptiness you sometimes feel, that desire for something more, it's not a flaw. It's a call to action, a reminder that you are a piece of something far greater. But this shattering wasn't a mistake. According to Kabbalah, it was part of the grand design, a necessary step for us to embark on a journey of repair and transformation. The process of gathering these fragments, of mending the vessel, is what gives our lives meaning. It's through our choices, our actions, and our growth that we slowly piece the vessel back together, making it stronger, more resilient, and capable of holding even greater light. Now, think about your own life. How often do you feel like you're chasing after something, only to find that it doesn't truly satisfy you? That new job, that relationship, that material possession. It might bring momentary happiness, but the feeling doesn't last. Why? Because the vessel isn't aligned with the light. It's like trying to fill a container with holes. The blessings you pour in just seep out. The secret lies in transformation. To truly receive the light, your vessel must evolve. It's not enough to desire. You must desire with purpose. You must ask yourself, what am I receiving for? How can I use what I've been given to create something greater, to share with others? This is the essence of Kabbalistic wisdom and the first step toward repairing the vessel. Let's go deeper. The shattering of the vessel wasn't just some abstract cosmic event. It's a reflection of our inner world. Each of us carries pieces of that shattered vessel within ourselves. Every doubt, every moment of emptiness, every time we feel disconnected or lost, it's a fragment of that original wholeness calling out to be restored. But how do we begin this process of restoration? And more importantly, how do we prepare ourselves to truly receive the light? The first step is understanding the vessel's true nature. It's not just a passive container waiting to be filled. The vessel is alive, dynamic, and responsive. It represents our desires, our capacity to receive, and ultimately, our intentions. Desires, in Kabbalistic thought, aren't inherently good or bad. They are the driving force behind everything we do. But the key question is, what kind of desire fuels you? Imagine someone who desires wealth. On the surface, it might seem materialistic, but the intention behind that desire is what truly matters. If the desire for wealth is purely egoistic, seeking to accumulate for personal gain without any thought of sharing, then that vessel remains small, limited, and fragile. It cannot hold the light for long because it's not aligned with the purpose of creation. But if that same desire for wealth is accompanied by the intention to use it for the good of others, to create opportunities to give back, to inspire, then the vessel expands. It becomes capable of receiving and holding greater light because it's no longer just about taking. It's about giving, too. Kabbalah teaches us that the vessel's growth is directly tied to the shift in intention. The more we align our desires with the purpose of sharing, the larger and stronger our vessel becomes. And the larger the vessel, the more light it can hold. This is why some people, despite having seemingly little, radiate an incredible sense of fulfillment, while others who seem to have everything feel empty. It's not about how much you receive, it's about how you receive and what you do with it. But here's where it gets even more profound. The light doesn't just fill any vessel indiscriminately. It's not a vending machine where you press a button and blessings pour out. The light operates on a principle of harmony. It flows into a vessel that's ready, open, and aligned. This readiness isn't about perfection. It's about willingness. It's about recognizing where you are, embracing your imperfections, and taking intentional steps toward growth. Think of it like planting a garden. If you scatter seeds onto dry, unprepared soil, they won't grow, no matter how much sunlight and water they receive. The soil, your vessel, must be tilled, nourished, and made ready. In the same way, your soul must be prepared to receive the light. This preparation involves 3 core practices: self-awareness, gratitude, and sharing. Self-awareness is the foundation. You can't repair what you don't recognize. This means taking an honest look at your desires, your intentions, and your actions. Are you driven by fear, greed, or ego? Or are you motivated by love, compassion, and a desire to uplift others? Awareness isn't about judgment. It's about clarity. When you understand where your vessel is cracked or misaligned, you can begin the process of repair. Gratitude is the next step. Gratitude expands your vessel by shifting your focus from lack to abundance. When you acknowledge the blessings already present in your life, no matter how small, you open the door for more. It's like telling the universe, I see the light you've given me, and I'm ready for more. This isn't about complacency. It's about creating a foundation of appreciation that allows your vessel to grow. And finally, there's sharing. Sharing is what transforms the act of receiving into something meaningful. When you take the light you've received and pass it on, whether through kindness, generosity, or simply being present for someone else, you create a flow. This flow is the ultimate purpose of the vessel. It's not meant to hoard the light, but to circulate it, allowing it to touch others and return to the source even brighter. Now, imagine the impact this could have on your life. Every time you align your desires with a greater purpose, every time you express gratitude, every time you share what you've been given, you're repairing your piece of the shattered vessel. And as you repair your piece, you're contributing to the repair of the whole. You're participating in the cosmic process of Tikkun, the restoration of balance and harmony in the universe. But here's the most beautiful part. The light doesn't just fill the vessel, it transforms it. As the vessel holds more light, It becomes a source of light itself. It radiates outwards, touching everything and everyone around it. This is why some people seem to glow from within. It's not about their external circumstances. It's about the light they carry and share. So the question is, what kind of vessel are you building? Are you ready to prepare your soul, expand your capacity, and align with the light? Because the moment you do, your life and the world will never be the same. Let's go even deeper. To truly understand how to transform your vessel, we need to reflect on a profound truth from Kabbalah. The vessel is both the problem and the solution. The cracks in the vessel, the places where it feels broken, incomplete, or unworthy, are the very opportunities for growth and repair. Without those cracks, there would be no reason to seek the light, no reason to evolve, and no reason to connect with something greater. The imperfections are, in fact, what make the process of fulfillment so meaningful. But let's be honest, acknowledging those cracks can be hard. No one likes to look at the parts of themselves that feel inadequate or flawed. It's much easier to focus on what we want, what we're missing, or what we think will fix everything. Yet, Kabbalah teaches that avoiding those cracks only makes them deeper. True transformation begins when we face them head-on, with courage and humility, and ask ourselves, what is this crack teaching me? You see, the cracks in your vessel aren't there to punish you. They're there to guide you. Each one represents a specific area of your life where the light is waiting to enter, but it can't until you open the door. This process of opening isn't about forcing change. It's about surrendering to it. It's about letting go of ego, fear, and resistance, and allowing the light to do what it does best: illuminate. Now, let's talk about the ego, because this is where most people get stuck. The ego is like a wall around your vessel. It's the part of you that says, I'm fine on my own, I don't need anyone else, or I deserve this just because I want it. The ego thrives on separation. Separation from others, from purpose, and ultimately from the light. But here's the paradox. The ego is also a part of the vessel. It's not something you need to destroy or suppress. Instead, you need to transform it. Transforming the ego means shifting its focus from receiving for itself to receiving for the sake of sharing. Let's take an example. Imagine someone achieves a major success, a promotion, a new business, or a creative breakthrough. The ego might say, look at what I've done. I'm better than everyone else. This kind of thinking closes the vessel, trapping the light inside and cutting off its flow. But if that same success is viewed through the lens of sharing, how can I use this opportunity to uplift others? The vessel expands. The light multiplies because it's no longer confined. It becomes a river instead of a pond. This is why sharing is so powerful. It's not just about being generous or kind. It's about creating a spiritual circuit. The light flows into you, and as you pass it on, it returns even stronger. This is what Kabbalah calls the endless flow of abundance. It's a state of being where you're constantly giving and receiving in harmony, with no sense of lack or limitation. But let's not forget an essential piece of the puzzle: preparation. Just as you wouldn't pour water into a dirty glass and expect it to taste pure, you can't expect the light to flow into a vessel that's filled with negativity, resentment, or greed. Preparing your vessel means clearing out what no longer serves you, old patterns, limiting beliefs, and attachments to things that drain your energy. This isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice. Every moment offers a choice: to hold on to what blocks the light, or to let it go and make space for something greater. Gratitude plays a crucial role here. Think of gratitude as the polish that makes your vessel shine. When you focus on what you already have, no matter how small, you shift your energy from lack to abundance. This doesn't just make you feel better. It actually expands your capacity to receive. Why? Because the universe responds to alignment. When you align with the energy of appreciation, you signal to the light that you're ready for more. But gratitude alone isn't enough. You also need intention. Intention is what gives your vessel direction. Without it, even the largest vessel will feel empty because it lacks purpose. Think of it like this. You could have a beautiful, spacious home, but if it's filled with clutter and chaos, it won't feel like a sanctuary. Similarly, your vessel needs to be filled with meaningful, aligned intentions that reflect your highest self. These intentions act as a magnet, drawing the light into your life and anchoring it in a way that creates lasting fulfillment. So, how do you put all of this into practice? Start small. Each day, set an intention for how you want to receive and share the light. Maybe it's as simple as being kind to a stranger, expressing gratitude for something you've overlooked, or offering support to someone in need. These small acts create ripples that expand your vessel and deepen your connection to the light. Over time, these ripples turn into waves, transforming not just your life but the lives of those around you. Remember, the journey of the vessel is not about perfection. It's about progress. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to wholeness. And as your vessel grows, so does your ability to hold the light, share it, and experience the profound joy of being a part of something infinitely greater. Now that we've explored the transformative power of the vessel and its connection to the light, let's dive into something even more personal: how this universal dynamic plays out in your everyday life. Because the truth is, the relationship between the light and the vessel isn't just an abstract spiritual concept. It's alive in every choice you make, every relationship you nurture, and every challenge you face. Take a moment to think about the times when you felt truly fulfilled. Maybe it was a moment of connection with someone you love, the sense of accomplishment after completing a meaningful project, or the quiet joy of simply appreciating life. What these moments have in common is that they weren't just about receiving, they were about flow. You received something, a feeling, an experience, a gift, but you also shared something in return. That flow, that exchange, is the heartbeat of the light and the vessel. But life isn't always that harmonious, is it? There are times when the vessel feels stuck, when the light seems distant, and when fulfillment feels like an unreachable dream. Why does this happen? Kabbalah explains that when the vessel is out of alignment, the flow of light becomes blocked. This misalignment can take many forms: fear, jealousy, selfishness, or even the refusal to let go of pain or resentment. These blockages act like spiritual dams, preventing the light from reaching you and creating a sense of emptiness or stagnation. So how do we remove these blockages and restore the flow? It starts with awareness. You can't fix what you don't see. Begin by observing your own patterns. Are there areas of your life where you feel consistently unfulfilled or frustrated? These are likely the places where your vessel is misaligned. For example, if you're constantly seeking validation from others but still feel insecure, it could be a sign that your vessel is focused on taking rather than receiving for the sake of sharing. Awareness doesn't mean judgment. It means curiosity. Approach these patterns with an open mind and a willingness to learn. The next step is action. Awareness without action is like seeing the light switch but never turning it on. This is where the real work begins. In Kabbalah, this process is called Tikkun, or correction. It's the active effort to repair your vessel, piece by piece, moment by moment. And the beauty of Tikkun is that it's not about achieving perfection. It's about engaging in the process. Every small step you take creates a ripple effect, expanding your vessel and allowing more light to flow in. Let's make this practical. Imagine you're in a situation where you feel taken for granted, whether it's at work, in a relationship, or even within your family. The ego's instinct might be to withdraw, to stop giving, or to demand recognition. But Kabbalah teaches that the solution isn't to close off your vessel. It's to realign it. Ask yourself, what is my intention here? Am I giving because I expect something in return, or am I giving because I want to create a flow of light? This shift in perspective can transform the entire experience. When you give with the intention of sharing light, you free yourself from the need for external validation. The fulfillment comes from the act itself. And in doing so, you open the door for the light to return to you in ways you may not even expect. Another powerful tool for realigning your vessel is forgiveness. This is one of the hardest, yet most liberating acts of Tikkun. Holding on to anger or resentment creates cracks in the vessel, blocking the flow of light and keeping you stuck in the past. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior. It means releasing the hold it has on your vessel. When you forgive, you reclaim your power and make space for the light to enter. It's not about the other person. It's about your own freedom. Gratitude is yet another essential practice. Think of gratitude as the fuel that powers your vessel. Without it, even the most aligned vessel will eventually feel empty. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, creating an energy of abundance that attracts more light into your life. And the best part? Gratitude doesn't require grand gestures. It can be as simple as taking a moment each day to acknowledge the blessings around you. The warmth of the sun, the smile of a stranger, the food on your table. These small acts of appreciation ripple outward, expanding your vessel and deepening your connection to the light. As you practice awareness, action, forgiveness, and gratitude, you will begin to notice something remarkable. Your relationship with the light will feel less like a struggle and more like a partnership. The light isn't something you have to chase or beg for. It's already there, waiting for you to align with it. And as your vessel grows, so does your ability to receive, to share, and to create a life that feels truly abundant. This journey isn't linear, and it's not always easy. There will be moments when the cracks in your vessel feel overwhelming, when the light seems out of reach, and when you question whether the effort is worth it. But remember this: every crack is an invitation. Every challenge is an opportunity to expand your vessel and draw closer to the light. And every small act of alignment brings you one step closer to the wholeness you were always meant to embody. As your journey with the light and the vessel continues, one profound realization begins to emerge. This isn't just about personal fulfillment. It's about something much greater. You are not just repairing your own vessel. You're contributing to the repair of the entire world. In Kabbalah, this concept is called Tikkun Olam, the correction or healing of the world. Each time you align your desires, each time you share light, you're not only transforming your own life, you're helping to restore the shattered fragments of the universal vessel. This might sound overwhelming. How can your individual actions possibly affect something as vast as the entire world? But the truth is, just as a single shard of glass reflects the entirety of a mirror, your personal vessel is a microcosm of the larger whole. Every crack you mend within yourself sends ripples outward, touching the people around you, the energy of your environment, and even the unseen forces that govern existence. In this way, every choice you make has meaning far beyond what you can see. Let's look at a simple example. Kindness. Imagine you're having a terrible day, feeling disconnected and drained. Then, out of nowhere, a stranger holds a door open for you or smiles warmly in passing. That tiny act of kindness might seem insignificant, but in that moment, it breaks through the cracks of your vessel and lets a little light in. Inspired by that, you might pass it on, helping someone else, offering a kind word, or even just carrying yourself with a lighter heart. And so the ripple grows. That one act, that tiny piece of light shared, sets off a chain reaction that could reach people you'll never meet in ways you'll never know. Now imagine this on a larger scale. Imagine what would happen if more people understood the principle of receiving and sharing light. If, instead of clinging to what they have out of fear of losing it, they trusted in the infinite abundance of the light and made the conscious choice to give. Communities would thrive, relationships would deepen, the cracks in the collective vessel of humanity would begin to heal. This isn't a dream. It's the reality that Kabbalah invites us to create. But to participate in Tikkun Olam, you first have to take responsibility for your own piece of the vessel. Responsibility doesn't mean blame or guilt. It means ownership. It means recognizing that your choices, your actions, and even your thoughts have power. It means understanding that every moment is an opportunity to bring more light into the world, starting with yourself. Let's break this down into practical steps. How can you actively participate in the repair of your personal vessel and, by extension, the world's? The first step is intention. Start each day with a clear intention to align yourself with the light. This doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as saying to yourself, "Today, I will focus on receiving for the sake of sharing. I will look for opportunities to bring light into the lives of others." This sets the tone for your day and creates a framework for your actions. Next is awareness of your actions. Throughout the day, pause and ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now aligned with my intention? Am I contributing to the flow of light, or am I blocking it? This mindfulness can turn even the smallest choices into acts of spiritual alignment. For example, when faced with a moment of frustration, like being stuck in traffic or dealing with a difficult coworker, you can choose patience and understanding over anger. These seemingly small decisions expand your vessel and strengthen your connection to the light. Another powerful practice is cultivating relationships. The vessel isn't meant to function in isolation. Our connections with others are some of the most potent channels for receiving and sharing light. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect in your relationships. Far from it. It means approaching them with an open heart and a willingness to grow. When conflicts arise, see them as opportunities to mend cracks, not widen them. When someone reaches out for help, recognize it as a chance to expand your vessel by giving. And then there's gratitude. We've touched on this before, but it's worth repeating because gratitude is one of the most transformative forces available to you. It's like a bridge between the vessel and the light. The more you focus on what you have, the more you align yourself with abundance. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges, but it gives you the strength and clarity to face them, knowing that even in the darkest moments, the light is never far away. Finally, there's sharing your gifts. Each of us has unique talents, passions, and resources that can bring light into the world. Maybe you're a great listener, a talented artist, or someone who can make others laugh. Whatever your gifts are, they're not just for you. They're meant to be shared. When you use your gifts to uplift others, you're not just giving. You're also deepening your own connection to the light. And here's the most beautiful part. The more you share, the more your vessel expands. The more your vessel expands, the more light you can receive. And the more light you receive, the more you have to share. It's an endless cycle of giving and receiving, one that grows stronger and more powerful with every act of alignment. Now imagine what your life could look like if this became your daily practice. Imagine waking up each morning with a sense of purpose, knowing that every interaction, every challenge, and every moment is an opportunity to bring more light into your world. Imagine feeling deeply connected, not just to the people around you, but to something infinitely greater. That's the power of the light and the vessel. That's the life Kabbalah invites you to create. Now that you've envisioned what life could look like when aligned with the principles of the light and the vessel, let's explore how this wisdom applies to the challenges we face. Because, let's be honest, life doesn't always feel like an endless flow of light. There are moments of pain, betrayal, loss, and frustration. Moments where the cracks in the vessel feel too deep to repair. But here's the truth that Kabbalah offers. Even in the darkest times, those cracks are the places where the light can enter. In fact, it's often through these challenges that we grow the most. Let's take a moment to reflect on pain and suffering. Kabbalah doesn't view pain as something to be avoided or feared. Instead, it's seen as a signal, a message from the vessel that something needs attention. Think of it like a warning light on a car dashboard. When it lights up, it's not there to make your journey harder. It's there to tell you something isn't working as it should. Pain works the same way. It's an opportunity to pause, reflect, and ask, what is this experience teaching me? What part of my vessel is calling out to be repaired? For example, consider a relationship that ends unexpectedly. The initial reaction might be anger, sadness, or even a sense of betrayal. These emotions are valid and natural, but Kabbalah invites us to look deeper. What if this loss is showing you an area of your life where you've been overly dependent on someone else for your sense of fulfillment? What if it's encouraging you to strengthen your own vessel, to expand your capacity to receive and give light independently? The pain, while real, is not the end of the story. It's the beginning of transformation. But how do we actually turn pain into growth? The first step is acceptance. Fighting against reality only deepens the cracks in the vessel. Acceptance doesn't mean you have to like what's happening. It simply means acknowledging it for what it is. This act of surrender creates space for the light to enter. It shifts your energy from resistance to openness, allowing you to move forward instead of staying stuck. The next step is perspective. Kabbalah teaches that every challenge contains a hidden spark of light, waiting to be revealed. The process of finding that spark is called birur, or clarification. It's about separating the light from the darkness, the lesson from the pain. This doesn't happen all at once. It's a gradual process that requires patience and self-compassion. But as you begin to uncover the hidden light in your challenges, something amazing happens. The cracks in your vessel start to heal. And not only do they heal, they grow stronger, more expansive, more capable of holding light. This is where faith comes in, not blind faith, but an active, engaged faith in the process of Tikkun. It's the belief that no matter how broken your vessel may feel, it can always be repaired. That no matter how far you've strayed from the light, it's never too late to return. This faith isn't about denying the difficulty of the journey. It's about trusting that the journey has a purpose, even if you can't see it yet. Now, let's talk about another common challenge, fear. Fear is one of the biggest barriers to receiving the light. It convinces us to play small, to protect what we have, to avoid risks at all costs. But fear is also one of the greatest teachers. It shows us the edges of our comfort zone, the very places where growth happens. When you face your fears, you're expanding your vessel. You're saying to the light, I trust you. I'm ready to receive more. And the light always responds to trust. So how do you overcome fear? Start by naming it. Fear thrives in the shadows, but when you bring it into the light, it begins to lose its power. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What's the worst that could happen? And even if that happens, how can I grow from it? These questions don't eliminate fear, but they put it in perspective. They remind you that fear is just another crack in the vessel, one that can be healed through awareness, action, and trust. Another powerful tool for navigating challenges is connection. The vessel isn't something you repair alone. Kabbalah emphasizes the importance of community, of surrounding yourself with people who inspire, support, and challenge you to grow. These connections are like mirrors, reflecting both the light and the cracks in your vessel. They hold you accountable to your highest potential, while also offering the compassion you need to keep going. And finally, there's the power of purpose. When your life is guided by a sense of purpose, challenges become opportunities. Pain becomes a teacher. Fear becomes a stepping stone. Every experience, no matter how difficult, becomes part of the process of expanding your vessel and aligning with the light. Purpose gives your life meaning, and meaning gives you the strength to persevere. As you move forward on this journey, remember that the light and the vessel aren't separate from you. They are you. The light is your essence, your infinite potential, your connection to the divine. The vessel is your soul, your body, your ability to bring that potential into reality. Together, they form the foundation of your existence, guiding you toward a life of fulfillment, growth, and unbreakable connection. Now that we've explored the transformative power of challenges and how they can expand the vessel, let's turn to something equally important: the role of joy and creativity in this process. While challenges often act as catalysts for growth, it's not pain alone that shapes your vessel. Joy, gratitude, and the act of creation play an equally vital role in building your capacity to receive and share the light. Kabbalah teaches that joy isn't just a fleeting emotion. It's a spiritual state that amplifies the flow of the light. When you experience genuine joy, your vessel naturally expands, becoming more open and capable of holding even greater blessings. Think about the times when you felt truly happy. Maybe it was a moment of laughter with loved ones, the satisfaction of completing something meaningful, or even the quiet joy of witnessing a beautiful sunrise. Those moments weren't just coincidences. They were glimpses of the light in its purest form. But here's the thing about joy. It doesn't just happen. It's something you cultivate. And one of the most powerful ways to cultivate joy is through creativity. Creativity isn't limited to art, music, or writing. It's about expressing the unique light within you in whatever way feels natural. It could be cooking a meal, designing a space, solving a problem, or even finding a new way to connect with others. Every act of creation is an act of expansion, a way of saying to the universe, I am here and I am ready to receive and share. Let's delve deeper into how creativity aligns with the light and the vessel. When you create, you're not just using your hands or your mind. You're engaging your soul. You're tapping into something beyond yourself, channeling the infinite potential of the light into the material world. This is why creative acts often feel so fulfilling. They align you with the flow of abundance, connecting you to something larger than yourself. But creativity, like joy, requires effort. It's easy to let fear, doubt, or the need for perfection block your creative flow. How often have you hesitated to try something new because you were afraid of failing? That hesitation is the ego at work, creating cracks in your vessel and limiting your ability to receive the light. The antidote to this is not perfection. It's courage. Creativity isn't about getting it right. It's about being willing to explore, to make mistakes, and to grow through the process. Now imagine combining creativity with sharing. Let's say you bake a cake, not just for the sake of baking, but to share it with a friend or neighbor. In that simple act, you're doing more than creating something tangible. You're creating connection. You're expanding your vessel by turning your personal act of creation into a source of joy for someone else. And that joy, it doesn't just stop with them. It ripples outward, touching others in ways you may never even see. This is the essence of living in alignment with the light and the vessel. Every act, no matter how small, has the potential to bring more light into the world. Whether it's through creativity, kindness, or simply being present, you're constantly contributing to the flow of abundance. And as you give, the light flows back to you, stronger and brighter than before. But what about the times when joy feels out of reach? What about the moments when creativity feels impossible? When life feels stagnant or uninspired? These are the moments when the cracks in your vessel can feel overwhelming. But remember, those cracks aren't the end of the story. They're the beginning. When you feel stuck, it's often a sign that your vessel is ready to grow, to expand beyond its current limits. So how do you reignite joy and creativity when it feels like they've disappeared? Start small. Joy doesn't always come in grand, life-changing moments. It often begins with the simplest things. Take a walk outside and notice the beauty around you. Spend a few minutes doing something you love, even if it feels insignificant. Write down 3 things you're grateful for, no matter how small they may seem. These small acts of presence and appreciation create openings in your vessel, allowing the light to flow in. Another powerful practice is to reconnect with your sense of purpose. Ask yourself, what brings meaning to my life? What gifts do I have that I can share with others? Sometimes, joy and creativity are rekindled not by focusing on what you need, but by focusing on what you can give. When you shift your attention outward, the cracks in your vessel begin to heal, and the light finds its way back to you. As you move through this process, remember that joy and creativity are not destinations, they're practices. There's something you cultivate day by day, moment by moment. And the more you practice, the more natural they become. Over time, you'll find that joy and creativity are no longer fleeting. They're woven into the fabric of your life, a constant source of light that expands your vessel and touches everyone around you. Now, let's reflect on how this all comes together. You've learned that challenges, while difficult, are opportunities for growth. You've seen how gratitude and intention expand your vessel. And now you understand that joy and creativity are just as essential to this process. Together, these principles form the foundation of a life aligned with the light, a life of purpose, fulfillment, and unbreakable connection. Now that we've established the importance of joy, creativity, and purpose in expanding the vessel, let's move into the practical ways these concepts can completely transform how you experience everyday life. Because while the ideas of the light in the vessel are profound and universal, their true power lies in their application. It's not enough to simply understand them. You have to live them moment by moment, choice by choice. Let's start with relationships. Whether it's with a partner, family, friends, or colleagues, relationships are one of the most powerful mirrors of your vessel. They reflect not only how open you are to receiving the light, but also how willing you are to share it. Have you ever noticed how relationships flourish when there's a balance of giving and receiving? When both people feel valued, supported, and seen, it creates a flow of energy, a mutual exchange of light. But when that balance tips, when one person is giving too much or another is taking without intention, cracks begin to form. Kabbalah teaches us that these moments of imbalance aren't failures. They're opportunities for Tikkun, for repair and growth. Let's say you're in a relationship where you feel unappreciated. The ego's instinct might be to withdraw, to stop giving, or to demand recognition. But instead of pulling away, what if you leaned in? What if you asked yourself, how can I expand my vessel in this situation? How can I give with the intention of sharing light, rather than expecting something in return? This doesn't mean tolerating mistreatment or ignoring your own needs. It means approaching the relationship from a place of curiosity and intention, seeking to heal the cracks rather than widen them. Here's another example. What about those moments when someone disappoints you? Maybe they forgot something important, said something hurtful, or didn't show up in the way you hoped they would. These moments are challenging, but they're also profound opportunities to practice forgiveness. Remember, forgiveness isn't about condoning bad behavior. It's about freeing your vessel from the weight of resentment. When you hold on to anger or grudges, you block the flow of light within yourself. But when you forgive, you create space for healing, for connection, and for growth, not just in the relationship but within your own soul. Relationships also offer a powerful lesson about boundaries. Sharing light doesn't mean giving endlessly to the point of depletion. A vessel can only give when it's full, and maintaining healthy boundaries is essential for keeping your vessel strong. Kabbalah teaches that boundaries are not walls. They're the structure that allows you to give and receive in balance. When you set a boundary, you're not shutting people out. You're creating a framework that ensures your light can flow freely without being drained. Boundaries are acts of love, not just for yourself but for the people around you, because they allow you to show up fully without resentment or exhaustion. Now let's shift focus to another area of life, work and purpose. So many people approach their careers with a mindset of survival, working for a paycheck, climbing the ladder, or simply going through the motions. But Kabbalah invites you to see work as something much deeper, a channel for the light. Whatever you do, whether it's running a business, caring for your family, or pursuing a creative passion, your work is an opportunity to bring more light into the world. It's not about the job title or the salary. It's about the intention you bring to your work. Are you creating value? Are you uplifting others? Are you using your talents to make a positive impact? Let's take an example. Imagine someone who runs a small bakery. On the surface, it might seem like they're just baking bread or selling pastries. But if they approach their work with intention, it becomes so much more. Every loaf of bread becomes a gift. Every customer interaction becomes a moment of connection, and every day at work becomes an opportunity to share the light. This shift in perspective transforms what might seem ordinary into something extraordinary. Even if your current work doesn't feel meaningful, Kabbalah teaches that you can still infuse it with purpose. Start by asking yourself, how can I bring more light into what I do? Maybe it's through small acts of kindness toward your co-workers. Maybe it's by taking pride in the quality of your work, no matter how mundane it might seem. Or maybe it's by using your job as a stepping stone to discover what truly fulfills you. Purpose isn't always about the work itself. It's about the energy and intention you bring to it. Another crucial area where the light and the vessel can transform your life is in how you relate to yourself. Self-criticism, doubt, and feelings of inadequacy are some of the most common cracks in the vessel. They block the flow of light by convincing you that you're not worthy of receiving it. But here's the truth. You are inherently worthy simply because you exist. The light doesn't discriminate. It flows to anyone who's willing to receive it. Your job is not to earn the light, but to prepare your vessel to hold it. This preparation begins with self-compassion. Instead of focusing on your flaws or mistakes, focus on your growth. Recognize that every crack in your vessel is an opportunity to let the light in. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to someone you love. When you approach yourself with compassion, you strengthen your vessel and deepen your connection to the light. Finally, let's talk about gratitude once more, because it's the thread that ties everything together. Gratitude isn't just a feeling. It's a practice, a way of being that aligns your vessel with the light. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you expand your capacity to receive. You shift your energy from lack to abundance, from fear to trust, and from separation to connection. Gratitude turns even the smallest blessings into sources of light, reminding you that the universe is always supporting you, even in ways you can't yet see. So, what does all of this mean for your life? It means that every moment, every relationship, every challenge, every act of creation is an opportunity to expand your vessel and deepen your connection to the light. It means that fulfillment isn't something you chase. It's something you create moment by moment through your choices, your intentions, and your willingness to grow. And most importantly, it means that you're never alone on this journey. The light is always with you, ready to flow into your vessel as soon as you're ready to receive it. Let's move into the next layer of this journey: how to fully integrate the principles of the light and the vessel into your everyday life. It's one thing to understand these concepts intellectually, but true transformation happens when they become part of how you think, feel, and act in the world. This is where the real magic begins. When spiritual wisdom meets practical action, think about the areas of your life that matter most to you: your health, your relationships, your work, your sense of purpose. Each of these areas is like a smaller vessel within the larger vessel of your life. When one area is misaligned, when it's filled with fear, resentment, or neglect, it affects the whole. But when you bring intention, gratitude, and alignment to each area, the light begins to flow more freely, and everything feels more balanced, more abundant. Let's start with health, because your body is a vessel through which you experience the world. In Kabbalah, the body isn't just a physical structure. It's a sacred container for the soul, a reflection of your connection to the light. When you care for your body, you're not just maintaining your health. You're honoring the vessel that allows you to grow, create, and share. One of the simplest ways to align your body with the light is through mindful nourishment. This isn't just about eating healthy food. It's about bringing intention to how you eat. Before you take a bite, pause for a moment. Think about the journey of that food, how it was grown, how it came to your table, and how it will fuel your vessel. Express gratitude, even silently, for the nourishment it provides. This small act transforms a routine meal into a spiritual practice, a moment of connection with the abundance of the light. Movement is another powerful way to honor your vessel. Whether it's walking, dancing, yoga, or any form of exercise, movement is more than just physical. It's a way to release stagnant energy, expand your vessel, and invite the light to flow. Approach movement with joy, not as a chore or obligation. Let it be a celebration of your body's ability to move, to stretch, to experience life. Now let's turn to finances, an area that can feel especially challenging when the vessel is misaligned. Money is often surrounded by fear. Fear of not having enough, fear of losing what you have, or fear of being judged for wanting more. But Kabbalah teaches that money, like everything else, is simply energy. It's a form of the light, flowing into your life through your vessel. When you approach money with gratitude and intention, you shift your energy from lack to abundance. One way to align your finances with the light is by practicing conscious spending. Before you make a purchase, ask yourself, Is this aligned with my values? Does this contribute to my growth, my joy, or my ability to share with others? When you spend money with intention, it becomes a tool for creating light in your life and in the lives of others. Sharing is another key to financial alignment. Kabbalah emphasizes the importance of giving, not out of obligation, but from a place of joy and purpose. When you give, whether it's to a cause you believe in, someone in need, or even just tipping generously, you're creating a flow of abundance. This flow not only benefits others, but also expands your own vessel, inviting even greater blessings into your life. Let's not forget spiritual practices, which are the foundation of aligning your entire vessel with the light. Meditation, prayer, or even moments of quiet reflection are ways to reconnect with your inner light and realign your intentions. You don't need hours of silence to make a difference. A few minutes each day can create profound shifts. Use this time to ask yourself, where am I blocking the light? What can I release to let it flow more freely? What am I grateful for right now? Even in busy or stressful times, you can integrate these practices into your daily routine. Pause for a moment before starting a meeting or a task. Take a deep breath and set an intention for how you want to show up. Carry this intention with you, letting it guide your actions and interactions. Over time, these small moments of alignment add up, creating a life that feels grounded, purposeful, and full of light. Now, let's explore your connection to the world around you. Kabbalah teaches that we're all interconnected. Each of us is a fragment of the larger vessel, and our actions ripple outward in ways we can't always see. When you smile at a stranger, offer help, or simply show kindness, you're contributing to the repair of the collective vessel. These small acts of sharing create waves of light, touching people you may never meet in situations you'll never know about. Think of the impact this could have if everyone embraced this mindset. Imagine communities built on generosity, workplaces driven by purpose, and families that support each other with love and understanding. This isn't just a dream. It's the reality we're invited to create through our choices, one moment at a time. As you begin to integrate these principles into your life, remember that it's not about perfection. There will be days when the vessel feels cracked, when the light feels distant, and when alignment seems impossible. That's okay. Each day is a new opportunity to try again, to grow, and to expand your capacity to receive and share. Every step forward, no matter how small, contributes to the process of Tikkun, not just for yourself but for the world. Let's bring everything together and look at the bigger picture, how your personal journey with the light and the vessel connects to the world around you. This is where the concept of Tikkun Olam, repairing the world, comes into focus. Kabbalah teaches that the universe itself is like a massive vessel, one that was also shattered during the act of creation. Every person, every relationship, every experience is like a tiny fragment of this vessel. When you work on mending your own cracks, you're not just healing yourself. You're contributing to the healing of the entire world. Think about it like this. If every human being is a piece of the universal vessel, then your growth creates ripples that extend far beyond you. When you align yourself with the light, when you make choices guided by intention, kindness, and purpose, you're adding light to the collective vessel. And as that light grows, it touches others, inspiring them to do the same. This is how individual transformation becomes a global force for change. Let's take a real-world example. Imagine a community where people live disconnected lives, focused only on their own needs. In that community, the flow of the light is weak because the vessel is fragmented. But now imagine one person in that community, a teacher, a parent, a neighbor, decides to align themselves with the principles of receiving and sharing light. They start small, maybe by showing more kindness in their interactions or helping someone in need without expecting anything in return. Over time, their actions inspire others to do the same. Slowly but surely, the community begins to heal. Connections are formed, trust is built, and the flow of light grows stronger. This isn't just an idealistic vision. It's something that happens every day, in ways both big and small. The ripple effect of even one person choosing to align their vessel with the light is far more powerful than it might seem. It's like lighting a single candle in a dark room. That one flame doesn't just illuminate its immediate surroundings. It creates the potential for others to light their own candles, multiplying the light exponentially. But Tikkun Olam isn't just about grand gestures. It's about the small, consistent actions that add up over time. It's about choosing to listen instead of reacting, to forgive instead of holding a grudge, and to give even when it feels easier to hold back. These choices, though they might seem insignificant in the moment, are what repair the cracks in the collective vessel. They create a world that's more connected, more compassionate, and more aligned with the infinite abundance of the light. At the same time, Kabbalah reminds us that repairing the world doesn't mean ignoring its imperfections. It's easy to look at the problems in the world, conflict, inequality, environmental issues, and feel overwhelmed or hopeless. But those cracks, just like the ones in your personal vessel, are opportunities. They're invitations to step forward and bring light into places where it's needed most. One way to do this is by aligning your actions with your values on a larger scale. For example, if you care about the environment, you might make choices that reflect that, reducing waste, supporting sustainable practices, or educating others about the importance of caring for the planet. If you're passionate about helping others, you might volunteer your time, donate resources, or simply offer a listening ear to someone who's struggling. The specific actions you take will depend on your unique gifts and passions, but the principle remains the same. Every time you act with intention, you're contributing to Tikkun Olam. And here's the most beautiful part. This work doesn't just heal the world, it heals you too. Every time you step into alignment with the light, you expand your own vessel. You open yourself to receiving more joy, more purpose, and more connection. The more you give, the more you grow, and the more you grow, the more you have to give. It's an endless cycle of abundance, one that benefits not just you but everyone around you. As we reach the conclusion of this journey, let's reflect on everything we've explored. The light and the vessel are not abstract concepts. They are the foundation of everything you experience. The cracks in your vessel are not weaknesses. They're opportunities for growth. And the work of Tikkun, both personal and global, is not just a responsibility. It's a privilege, a chance to co-create a world filled with light. So, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? How will you begin to repair your vessel, align with the light, and contribute to the healing of the world? The path may not always be easy, but every step you take brings you closer to the wholeness you were always meant to embody. And as you walk this path, remember, the light is always with you, waiting to flow into your vessel as soon as you're ready to receive it. Now it's your turn to take action. Share this wisdom. Reflect on your own journey and start the ripple of light that will grow beyond anything you can imagine. Thank you for being part of this journey. Together, we are creating something beautiful,